Hi everyone, and welcome back to another class on my YouTube channel, Tom Yoga Om. Today we're going to be working with the core. We're going to be working with strengthening the muscles around the region of our torso and our belly and in our back. And the reason why we're doing this is because I feel that I haven't done it enough in the last couple of classes. And when I don't do enough core, I find that my posture and the structural sort of integrity of my body kind of tends to wane and I start to slouch. Now in my other job, I sit for 8 hours a day, and so I find that my body can kind of get into its lazy sort of positions, and then my body, if I don't use my core and if I don't strengthen the muscles around the core, it starts to form into that kind of shape and I end up getting a rounded back. And so by working the core, we're strengthening the muscles around the torso, around the back, hoping to reinforce the structures that are there. And I often find that when I do this, I also get a lot more stamina for my body and for my energy throughout the day. So I hope today you find yourself feeling a good workout in that region. And after this class, I hope that you end up feeling a little bit stronger in how you go through your day as a result. Let's get started. We're going to begin by coming into a child's pose to just check in with how our body's going and to bring ourselves into this present moment. So just start by coming into tabletop, bring your knees apart and your hips back towards your heels. Then rest your forehead on the floor and relax your arms down. And I know the audio can be a little bit funny when I bring my head down onto the floor. It's because I've got a mic right at my collar. But just bear with us for a moment and settle yourselves in. I've got the lovely sun on my back today, which feels really nice. You'll start to take some deep breaths in, down into your belly, and up into your chest. And as you exhale, soften as all of the air empties your lungs. And just check in with how your body sits in this position, and if you need to change anything, then go ahead and do that. We'll just be here for a minute or two, and just take this time to press down into your hands and your feet and your knees, your elbows, your forehead, and notice the weight of your body on the floor. You can even sway your hips from side to side and just let your head roll as you do that, just to loosen up through the neck. And find a comfortable position and just let that breath flow in and out. Find a rhythm to your breath. Feel the muscles around your hips soften down as you exhale. Feel the space around the shoulders, the neck, the upper back, and the torso soften as you exhale. And then breathe in a little bit deeper and make sure you get that full and expansive breath into the torso and around the back of the body. Feel your spine lengthen as you inhale. And as you exhale, feel it soften. And see if you can let go of any tension that you might be feeling today. And as you breathe here, pay attention to the flow of your breath and how it feels as it travels in and out. Pay attention to your physical body and how your physical body is sitting here today, resting here right now. And notice if there's any injury, soreness or tightness that you need to be mindful of. And then without getting caught up in it, see if you can just observe your emotional and mental body. Almost like you're watching your thoughts, watching your emotions, and just picking up what you notice. Becoming aware of the different things that are kind of happening in your mind. Becoming aware of the different things that are happening in your body. But not kind of hopping onto their ship, just kind of standing at the shore and observing. My physical body, my legs are feeling a little sore because I've been running quite a bit. And as a result, my mind is a little bit tired. It's a little bit fatigued, and it has me feeling like I'm slow and sleepy today. How are you feeling? Let's take 3 more final breaths in and out here and start to deepen your inhale, breathing in a little bit more expansively into your chest and your belly. And lengthen your exhale and see if you can soften just that little bit more. And after your 3rd exhale, start to wriggle your fingers and your toes, and before you lift up, just lift your hands off the floor, come up onto your fingertips, so palms up, fingertips on the floor, and walk your hands as far out in front of you as you can, so that you're stretching into the sides of the body. Once you're there, see if you can lift your hips up just the tiniest amount to get a little bit further out in front of you with the hands, and as you exhale, glue your hands to the spot and sink your hips back. Should feel a nice stretch in the sides of the body. Take 2 deep breaths in and out here. Breathe into the sides of the rib cage, the sides of the belly, and exhale, soften your hips. Stretch the spine. 1 more. Good, and from here, walk your hands over to the right side of your mat and bring your left hand underneath your right hand. Take a deep breath into the left side of the body, left side of the belly, left side of the rib cage, and exhale to soften. You don't need to go too far. It doesn't need to be a strain or a stretch. It's more of a lengthening. It's more of a prioritizing of the breath, focusing on that left side. And after your 2 breaths, walk your hands back to center and over to your left side. Bring your right hand underneath your left hand. And just take 2 deep breaths into the right side of the body, the right side of the rib cage, the belly. After that 2nd exhale, bring yourself back to center, press into the tops of your feet and slowly bring yourself up, careful with your knees. And then come into your tabletop position, knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Just move your spine from side to side and notice how it feels. And when you're ready, you can tuck your toes under and inhale, round your belly towards the floor, open your chest up. Open your shoulders wide and lift your chin up a little bit. And as you exhale, round your hips back behind you and press your back up towards the ceiling, the sky. Draw your chin in. Inhaling, opening up. And let's do 4 more cat-cows. Make them nice and slow. Voice broke there a little bit. As you flow through the movement, try to keep your breath in sync. Make your inhales and your exhales the same. length. And just feel the curl of your spine, the rounding of your spine. I think we've got 2 more. I stopped counting. Let's just do 2 more. Feel your spine and notice how it opens up as you press up to the ceiling. See if you can press down to the floor a little more. And inhale to open your belly up. And to open the front of the chest up and to let your spine drop down. You're opening on the inside of the spine almost as you do this. And then come back to a neutral position. To stretch into your hamstring, bring your right foot back and just move the heel forwards and backwards. And then come up onto your left fingertips. And before you lift up, press down into your right hand, your left knee, your left foot. Whenever we come into a balancing posture, it's that pressing down of the limbs that are touching the floor and keeping our awareness on those limbs and the space underneath them as they press down that helps us to stay focused and balanced. When you're ready, you can lift your right leg up off the floor, press your heel back behind you, engage your left thigh, and then extend your left arm out in front of you. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, draw your elbow and knee together. 2 more. Inhaling, extending. And exhaling, drawing it together. And 1 more. Take a full breath in. And bring it together. Good. And then drop everything down onto the floor. And from here, I'd like you to just turn your left foot out to the left side, like so. So your knee stays in the same spot. And then I want you to step your right foot to the left side of your mat. Good. Then you're going to inhale, lift your right arm up. Oh, nice sun. And then turn your palm to face the front of your mat and extend your right arm towards the front of your mat, stretching into the right side of the body. Breathe into the right side of the body. And exhale, reach a little further and press down into your left hand a little more. 2 more breaths. Breathing in here. And exhaling, extending. Start to press down into your right foot as you reach out through your right fingertips. 1 more breath. Good. And from here, can you keep reaching up with that right arm and just lift your right leg up off the floor. Press the heel away from you, engage your right thigh muscle. You might feel it in the hip a little bit. Just hold here for 3, for 2, and on 1, slowly bring everything down onto the ground, tabletop position. Step your left foot back and move the heel forwards and backwards. And press down into that left hand, the right knee, the right foot. And come up onto your right fingertips. Then when you're ready, lift the left leg up off the floor. Press the heel back behind you, engage the muscles of your left thigh, extend your right arm out in front of you, take a full breath in. Exhale, draw the elbow and knee together and engage your belly muscles a little bit, just squeeze them just the tiniest amount. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw it together. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw it together. And last one, full breath in, really reaching. And exhale, bring it together. Good, and then drop everything down. And we're just doing the same thing on the other side. So we're keeping the right knee grounded as we turn our right foot out to the side. And we're stepping the left foot back to the right side of our mat. Your right hand stays grounded and see if you can bring it underneath your right shoulder. Lift your left arm up. Turn your palm to face the front of your mat and extend towards the front of your mat with that left hand. Take a full breath in to the left side of your belly, the left side of your rib cage. And as you exhale, reach. 2 more breaths. Press down into your left foot. Reach out through those the left fingertips. Left foot, left fingertips. Good. And when you're there, after that 3rd breath, I want you to keep reaching with your left hand and then lift your left leg up off the floor and just hold here for 3 breaths. Sometimes we can feel the muscles engaging in that left glute, in the glute medius, I think, which is just a small muscle here. If that's the case for you, just do your best to press your heel back behind you and engage the thigh muscle like you're reaching it back, physically reaching it back. and reaching forward with the hand. And then take one more full breath in. And as you exhale, bring everything down onto the floor. Good. From here, we're going to come into Anahatasana. So knees underneath the hips. And all I'd like you to do is walk your hands as far in front of you as you can. This is heart melting pose. And we're just dropping our chest down, but we're trying to keep our hips above our knees. And just drop your chest down. And let your forehead or your chin or your torso or even just your elbows come down onto the mat. Take 3 deep breaths. As you inhale, breathe into the chest and the belly. But as you exhale, try to soften through the chest. One more breath. This is a nice back bend for that upper back region. And then press into your hands and walk them underneath your shoulders. Good, and from here we're going to cross our ankles over and bring ourselves back into a seated position, just to begin with. And then I'd like you to take a hold of your big toes with your second and third finger, your peace fingers, and lift your legs up off the floor and just hold yourself here in Navasana boat pose. When you come here, sometimes what we tend to do is to release through the core, release through that mid region and let our back round behind us. See if you can squeeze the muscles of your back a little bit and lift your chest up. Good. And then I want you to bring your hands back behind you with your fingertips pointing forward. And as you inhale, I want you to bend your elbows backwards, extend your legs out, and exhale to bring yourself back up. Let's do that 5 more times. Inhale, lowering down. And if you've got a stronger core here, you can take your arms out in front of you and inhale down like this. Lower your torso down and then lift up. I'm not feeling it today. Not after my run. And not after not having done core in a couple of weeks. And so I like to use the hands here to kind of slowly work my body back into it. I think we've got 3 more. Keep breathing, inhaling as you lower down, exhaling as you lift up, and then just do 1 more here. And exhale to lift up. Good, drop your feet down to the ground, scoot your hips over towards your heels, and just bring yourself down with your arms out beside you, and let your belly relax. You can feel those muscles working. Just breathe into them. Breathe into the belly of the chest. And exhale to feel them soften. 1 more breath here. Good. Now to stretch the front of the body, what we're going to do is take our hands beside us, fingertips touching the heels. And as you inhale, I want you to press down into the feet, lift your hips off the ground, and press down into your feet, your hands, and bring a bit of the weight into your shoulders. Good, just hold here. As you breathe in, lift your hips up a little higher. As you breathe out, press down into the floor a little more. And take 2 more deep breaths in and out here. Really grounding down into the floor. Really feel that space underneath your hands, underneath your feet. Press up a little more, feel that stretch in the front of the body. And as you inhale, see if you can roll your spine down onto the ground, vertebrae by vertebrae. Nice. Good, we're going to come up 1 more time and do a variation. And we're going to come back to this variation at the very end of the class. So as you inhale, I want you to lift your hips up, press down into your feet, your hands. Hopefully it's a little bit easier this time. Then interlace your fingers behind your back and squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another so that you lift up onto the tops of the shoulders. Hold here and press your whole arms, so all the way from the hands to the shoulders down into the ground to lift up a little higher. And as you're lifted here, just hold and take 2 deep breaths and focus on breathing into the belly and the chest and lifting them up as you inhale to get more of a stretch. What does it feel like to breathe into the torso? Do you feel like you've created more space in the front of it? It's what I feel when I inhale in this position. Good. After that next exhale, release your hands, breathe in, lift up a little higher, and exhale to roll yourself down, nice and slow. Good. Draw your knees into your chest, give them a squeeze, and just circle them a couple of times, massaging through the back. And circle them the other way. And you can kind of stretch your spine, that lower bit of your spine, as you draw your knees in and circle here, which is why I like this pose. And as we've kind of done our light warm-up for the class today, notice how your core feels. We've opened up the front of the body, the back of the body. Do you feel a little bit of strength building there? Or maybe does it feel the same? What do you feel? When you're ready, take your hands behind your knees and just rock yourself forwards and backwards a couple of times. And when you're ready, meet at the top of your mat, cross your ankles over, come onto your hands and your knees, and come to your tabletop position. Good. From your tabletop position, step your right leg back and try and bring the heel above the toes. So you can look back and have a look if that's the case. Usually we kind of move our heel further back behind the toes, but it's a little bit better if you stack the joints on top of one another. So we bring the ankle and the heel above the toes, and then lift the space between your shoulders up towards the ceiling. Good. And then step your left foot back and take between 3 and 5 breaths here before you come back to your downward facing dog. See if you can slow down your exhale. And I know that this isn't anyone's favorite, but it's such a good way to build the muscles, not only in the front of the body, but also in the back of the body. Which is why we do it. Press your heels back, engage your thigh muscles. That's the third exhale. So if you've had enough, go back to your down dog. And for the rest of us, let's take 2 more. Slow down the exhale. Keep pressing your heels back. Press down into your hands and take 1 more full breath in. And as you exhale, press yourself back into your downward facing dog. And from here, just bend your knees left to right. Pedal your feet out and just get that nice stretch happening in the hamstring, happening in the hips. You can straighten one leg and bend the opposite knee. Good. And when you're ready, I want you to inhale, lift your hips and your heels up off the floor, breathing in. And as you exhale, ground your heels down, send your hips back by pressing into your hands. 2 more like that. Last one, really press into your hands and ground down to stretch into the hamstrings. Breathing out. Next breath in, roll yourself forward into a plank. And exhale back to downward facing dog. 2 more. Breathing and rolling forward into a plank. And breathing out. And last one. Good. Then lift your left leg up. Press your left heel back behind you. Engage the muscles of the left thigh. Take a full breath in. And as you exhale, bring your left knee to your left elbow, plank position. Again, another one that I don't like, but we're doing it because it's so good for your core. Inhale, reach that left leg back behind you. Exhale, left knee to your right elbow, plank position. 1 more, breathing in, reach it back. And as you exhale, bring the knee through center and step the foot forward to the top of the mat. Drop the back knee down to the floor. And from here, all we're going to do is flatten the back foot out on the ground, sweep our arms up as we breathe in. And as you exhale, sink your hips down. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, sinking down. And 1 more, really extend your arms up. And exhale, sink your hips down. Good, hold here. Take your hands down onto that left knee. Just tuck your chin in and take 2 deep breaths into the belly and the chest, stretching a little more into wherever you feel that stretch and that opening happening, just by using the breath. One more. As you inhale, reach your arms up. And from here, we're going to place our left hand onto our left hip, extend our right arm up as we breathe in. And as you breathe out, just reach your hand over to the left side to come into a nice lateral stretch, opening up the right side of the body. Take 2 deep breaths in and out here. Exhale, reach a little more. And if you want something further, you can kick down into that back foot. That'll ground you down a little more. One more full breath in. And a slow breath out. And then inhale, lift your right arm up. And as you exhale, place your right hand onto the outside of your left knee. Take your left hand onto your lower back or around the side of that right hip. Breathe in to turn your torso towards the left side of your mat. And as you exhale, press your right hand into your left knee, twist to the left side. You can draw your chin in towards your neck to lengthen the top of the spine. And take 2 deep breaths in and out here. One more. Inhale, sweep both arms up. And exhale, reach them forward and bring them down. Good, now if you have bricks, you can take them with you beside your left foot. I just purchased these yesterday. They're nice and solid. If you don't have bricks, sometimes books can help, but you just want to make sure that they're quite stable. You could even get pillows work, a bolster, a bag, a speaker, anything that's solid. And from here, what we're doing is we're pressing into the bricks and we're lifting ourselves up into this half splits pose. Now, this is one of the first stretches we're doing into the hamstring. So it's just really nice to open up the hamstring because the muscle here links to the lower back. When we stretch this and open it up, we also open up this space down here, which is connected to our core. That's why we're doing it. Just as before, I want you to press your heel out in front of you and engage the muscle of your left thigh. And the bricks are here not because you need help or assistance, maybe you do, but they're not there for that. They're there to assist you in getting the benefit of the pose without straining to achieve it. So take your hands onto the bricks, lift up as high as you need, and before you roll your spine down, breathe into your belly and your chest, reach your chest forward. And as you exhale, just press your chest a little further out in front of you. Once you get there, tuck your chin in towards your neck. You can take your hands onto the bricks and then just sway your hips from side to side, take 2 deep breaths in and out. And what we're looking for here in this dynamic moving stretch is essentially to find a sweet spot that feels really good for you and your hamstring. And once you've found it, hold there and just take 3 deep breaths in and out. Keeping in mind we're just opening up the hamstring now. So you don't need to go too far or too deep. Just breathing. Last one. Good, and when you're ready, you can bend your front knee and bring your foot down onto the floor. Take the bricks out in front of you. And from here, frame your left foot with your hands. You're going to tuck the back toes under. You can do a regular vinyasa here, or if you haven't done it before, you'd like to try it, you can do a 3-legged vinyasa. And what a 3-legged vinyasa, or a vinyasa flow actually, is you press down into your hands, you lift your back knee up off the floor, and you lift your back as high as you can up to the ceiling, and then you're engaging the muscles of the belly, and you're trying to lift your left foot up to your left glute, then extend it back behind you as you breathe in for a 3-legged down dog. As you breathe out, rock yourself forward, roll forward into that plank, 3-legged plank, and then lower yourself down onto your belly, and you can use that bottom knee if you need to to bring yourself down. Press down into your feet. Inhale to lift your chest up and squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then exhale, roll your spine down. Inhale to lift up again. And just hold here. Hold for 3 breaths. Think of drawing your elbows back behind you to move the shoulders down and away from the neck. And take 1 more full breath in. And out. After the exhale, you can lower yourself down. Tuck your toes under. Inhale up into a plank. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up, breathing in. Press the heel back, engage the muscle in the thigh, and as you exhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow into a plank position. Inhale to reach it back. Exhale, bring that right knee to your left elbow. Plank position. Inhale, reach it back. And exhale, bring it through the middle. And then step that foot forward to the top of your mat. Sink your hips down. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, sink your hips down. 2 more. Just dynamically stretching. And dynamic just means moving, really, into that left thigh. And as we have started to open up and work into the hip, into the belly, into the back, just check in with yourself. Observe how that physical body is feeling. And after that 3rd exhale, bring your hands down onto your right knee. Just draw your chin into your chest. Take 2 deep breaths in and out. Inhaling into the stretch. And exhaling to soften. Inhale, lift your arms up. Reach them up. Exhale, bring your right hand down onto your right hip. Extend your left arm up. Breathe in. And exhale, really leaning over to that right side. Breathe into the left side of the body. 2 inhales, 2 exhales. And then inhale, reach both arms up. And as you exhale, left hand comes onto the outside of that right knee. Right hand comes onto the lower back. And just inhale, turn to your right side and hold here to begin with. Take a full breath into your belly and your chest. And as you exhale, you can choose to turn and look over towards that right shoulder. Breathing in, breathing out. One more breath. Inhale, reach both arms up. And exhale, reach them forward and down. Good, take the bricks with you. If they're there, or if they're not there, don't use them. Or use something else. Extend your right leg out in front of you. And just take a full breath into your belly and your chest. As you exhale, you're kind of swan diving your torso forward. We do this because we want to keep the back straight, because the muscle group that we're stretching is the back of the body. So it spans all the way from that heel down the back of your leg, or up the back of your leg, up to your back. So if you feel the stretch there with a straight back, that's great. And then if you want to take it further, after that, you can just draw your chin in. That stretches the top of that muscle group, at the back of the neck, the top of the spine. And then round your back a little bit. And rock your hips from side to side. And find that sweet spot. That spot that feels really good for you to stretch. And once you've found it, hold there. And take 2 deep breaths in and out. And then bend your front knee, Bring your foot flat on the floor and take the bricks with you to the top of your mat. Nice. From here, we're going to place our hands down onto the floor. We're going to step that right foot back into that three-legged down dog, but to begin with, or three-legged vinyasa float, but to begin with, lift your back knee up off the floor and see if you can press your back up to the ceiling and just lift that heel into the glute. And then press the leg back behind you, breathing in. Breathing out, roll forward into your plank. Lower yourself down. This time inhaling for 1 cobra, but holding for 3 breaths. So breathe in and press down into the floor with the feet. Reach the elbows back behind you and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Draw your chin in towards your neck to keep it nice and long. Take 2 more breaths in and out. Last one. And exhale. Tuck your toes under, lift yourself up into a plank or a tabletop, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Pedal your knees out left to right, and from here we're going to inhale, lift our hips and our heels up off the floor, and as you exhale, drop your knees to hover above the mat and almost sink back into what looks like a child's pose, so your hips move back towards your heels. Then you have the option to hop forward or step forward to the top of the mat. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale to fold down. I'm going to move 2 more times like that, so like a flow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold down. Last one, full breath in. And a slow breath out. Good. Take a hold of your elbows. Sway your body from side to side. And step your feet a little bit wider. And just breathe here for a moment. Let your back unravel, your spine relax. And do a couple of yeses and nos with your head. And you'll notice, I bet, that when we move with the body and use the core and the muscles around the belly, the muscles around the abdominals and the back, we tend to get quite warm. Or maybe it's because I've got the sun facing down and shining down on me. But no, we get quite warm because we use all of the muscles. They're kind of around our organs. And they just kind of tend to heat us up a little bit. A little more so than if we were to just use the legs or the arms. And so just take a moment to kind of let that energy and that heat drop away. Take 2 more deep breaths in and out. And check in with how you're feeling. And then release your hands down to the floor. Now this is my least favorite yoga pose because it requires a lot of work. But there's kind of like a saying or a mantra or an idiom in yoga, I think that's the right word, which says that we shy away from the things that we need the most. And I think I obviously must need this the most because I really shy away from it. And that is chair pose. But we're going to do it anyway. And it's not that hard. We're not going to be there for that long. I'm going to bend the knees to begin with. So just bend them quite generously so that you can bring your fingertips to touch your heels. Then I want you to sweep your fingers past your toes and keep your knees as bent as they are. Keep your torso as low as it is. Lift your arms up out in front of you. And just hold here in your chair pose. Try and bring your arms in alignment with your ears. And if that hurts your neck, bring your hands down through to your heart center. Press down into your toes and your heels evenly. And take 1 more full breath in and out. And then press into your feet, straighten your legs, lift your arms up, breathing in. And exhale your hands down through to your heart center. Relax. So I find that something that has really helped me in my yoga practice is connecting to the spiritual side of the practice. I understand that for some of you that really resonates, but for some of you that might seem a little bit too esoteric. And so what I'd say to those who maybe find it a bit much is, instead of thinking about it as a spiritual conversion or a religious facet, which some people will argue it is, think of it as a metaphor. One of the metaphors that I would employ in doing yoga when it comes to the core and the strength of our body is to think of the poses that implore you to have and to utilize that strength. If all that's confusing, what I'm going to ask you to do now, what we're going to move into now, is our warrior poses. Warrior poses call on us to feel strong and to be strong, and they require our bodies to engage in ways of strength. We use our legs strongly, we use our torsos strongly, and our belly strongly, and we use our arms strongly. And so you're kind of employing all of these movements that rely on that core strength, that mid strength, to hold you up in them. And so if you'd like, you can close your eyes, bring your hands through to your heart center, and just think of the energy down here and how it's flowing right now within you. Notice its strength. And notice its power. And from a chakra standpoint, an energetic standpoint, we say this is the energy of Manipura, the energy of the color yellow, the energy of courage and strength and power, and our willingness and our persistence to move forward in our lives. And just take one more breath into here. Feel that energy and that warmth and that heat in here, that yellow energy, that strength. And then from here, I'd like you to step your right foot to the top of the mat and step your left foot back behind you with the left toes pointing out at 45 degrees. Nice. You can take your hands to your hips, and I'd like you to do what we've done from the start of the class, which is to press down into the foot, press the heel away from you, and to engage the muscle of the thigh. Our warrior ones are different than our high crescent lunges in that the heel stays grounded on the floor. If you can, get your heels in alignment with one another, and then just turn your left hip to point forward. And you might need to shorten your stance if you can't square your hips to the front of the room. That's about my limit today. And what we're looking for is a nice strong stretch here. When your thigh is engaged and your foot is pressing down, you'll feel it. When you relax the thigh, you won't feel it. When you won't feel it as strongly. So engage that thigh. And then at the start of the class, we were doing our cat-cows. We moved on to extending our arms and our legs. And I told you that with balancing postures, it helps to keep your awareness on the space that is anchored down into the floor. I'd like you to do that again. And just focus on your feet and the strength as they press down into the floor. Take a full breath in. Keep your thighs engaged. And as you exhale, press down into the floor. And then inhale, reach your arms up. And see if you can look up. See if you can keep your focus up and keep your awareness and your focus both looking up but grounded down and aware of the space underneath the feet, aware of strong thighs and muscular engagement. And take a deep breath into your belly and your torso. And a strong breath out. Good. From here, we're going to turn our torsos to the left, turn our bodies to the left, and just open our arms out to come into a warrior two. Now, I like a wider stance with my feet for this one, but the same rules apply. We're pressing down into the feet, we're engaging the thigh muscles. Try and bring your right knee above your right ankle. Make sure you can see the big toe on the inside of your right leg. And extend your arms out. Take a full breath in, reach your arms in both directions. And as you exhale, relax your shoulders. Keep reaching though. See if you can tuck your chin in towards your neck. Look out towards your right hand. 2 breaths here. Bend the front knee a little more. Keep reaching. 1 more. After that second exhale, keep the lower half of your body the same. So that front knee's bent, the left thigh's engaged. Flip your front hand to face up. Inhale to lift the arm up. And as you exhale, reach the arm back behind you. Slide your left hand down your left leg. Take 2 deep breaths into the right side of the body. Bend the front knee more as you exhale. 1 more. My tired legs are feeling it today, hey. Too much running. Inhale into your warrior 2. And from here, straighten your front leg, take your hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and inhale, lift your chest up. As you exhale, draw your right hip in and just tilt your body over your right leg. That's it. Just have a go at looking down at that bottom leg. Keep both thighs engaged now, keep them nice and strong, and try to keep your awareness on your feet. And then reach your arms back behind you as much as you can to draw your shoulders away from your neck. Have a go at tucking your chin in towards your neck and looking up. Whoops, I'm a little slippery on the mat. And looking up. And if your neck feels okay looking up, then release your hands. Reach your left arm up, your right hand down, and just hold here for 3 breaths in your triangle pose. If your neck hurts, look down at the floor. Last breath in and out. Good. Take your left hand back behind you, windmill it down to the floor. Take a hold of your bricks if they're there, or just bring your fingertips onto the floor. And from here, bend that back knee, step the back foot to the halfway point in your mat, and lift your left leg up off the ground for your warrior 3. So again, this pose here asks us to be strong. Try to engage your right thigh muscle and your left thigh muscle and press your heel back behind you on that left leg. My head is up here with the plants and the flowers. And just try and find that strength there for 3 more breaths in. If you want, you can take your hands off the bricks and bring them down through your heart center or onto your hips. And really try and focus on that space underneath your leg. 1 more full breath in. And as you exhale, fold everything forward. Nice. Inhale for your halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Drop your hands down to the floor. Just sway your hips from side to side. Work out any kinks that might have built up from that warrior 3. And then inhale for your halfway lift. And as you exhale, let's bring everything down onto the floor. Step your hands down, step your feet back into a plank. Take a full breath in. Exhale, lower yourself down. Inhale for your cobra, breathing in. Exhale, lower down. Inhale up into a plank or a tabletop. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up, take a full, right leg up, sorry. Take a full breath in. No, left leg. And exhale, step that foot forward to the top of the mat. Good, drop your back heel to the floor. Inhale up into your warrior 1. And just drop your hands onto your hips. So I'll change sides so you can see me. So we're turning our torsos to the right, and then we're lining our heels up. That back foot is pointing out at 45 degrees. And then start by pressing the foot down, engaging your right thigh muscle, and turning your hips to point to the top of the mat. You might need to shorten your stance. You're looking for a stretch in your hip flexor on the right side and the psoas, which is a muscle that runs on the inside of the leg, from like around the belly down to the thigh. And just hold here and focus on your feet, and then inhale, reach your arms up. And just try and look up towards your hands as you keep your awareness on your feet, on your balance. 2 more breaths. Reaching up on the next inhale. Exhaling to press down into the floor. Inhale into your warrior 2. And as you exhale, just bend that front knee. Keep that right thigh engaged, right foot pressing down into the floor. Extend out through your hands. And exhale, relax your shoulders. Draw your chin in towards your neck. Look out towards your left hand. 3 deep breaths in and out. Keep relaxing your shoulders. After that third exhale, flip your left hand to face up. Inhale to lift it up. And as you exhale, reach it back behind you for your reverse warrior. 2 breaths into the left side of your body. Then inhale into your warrior 2. Straighten your front leg, bring your hands behind you, interlace the fingers, reach your chest up. And as you exhale, draw your left hip back, fold your torso over your legs. Reach your arms back behind you, peel your right shoulder back, and see if you can look up. And it really helps to draw the chin in towards the neck. And the reason we're doing this is because we want to keep the spine long and nice and straight as you turn your head up. 2 more breaths here. And last one. And then see if you can release the arms to come into your triangle pose. Keep your thighs engaged. 1 more breath. And then float your right arm back behind you. Bend your front knee. Bring your fingertips down onto the floor or onto the bricks. Lift your right foot up off the ground and press your right heel back behind you. So you're engaging the muscles of the right thigh. As you press your heel back, engage the muscles of your left thigh as well. And then just have a go at holding here. And maybe you bring your hands through to your heart center. You're holding for 3 breaths. Focus on the space underneath that left foot. Last one. And then release that right leg down to the ground. Fold yourself forward. Inhale for your halfway lift. And as you exhale, fold yourself forward, bend your knees, take a hold of your elbows and sway your arms from side to side. That's it, almost there, we're so close. Feel the strength in your body. Notice the heat in your body. And notice if there's any part of you that is still holding on to any soreness or tightness or tension. And hopefully these last couple of asanas can help us work that out. Just drop your hands down to the floor. And from here we're going to lift our heels up off the ground and then drop our hips down towards our heels. So the same rule applies in any of these balancing positions. Focus on the space underneath you so as to keep your balance grounded and your awareness with your balance. From here we're going to wrap our arms around our legs, draw our chin towards our chest. And see if you can stay up off those heels. Breathe into your back. If you need a bit of support, extend your arm out in front of you, or one of them. Drop your chin down. Take 3 deep breaths in and out. And release your hands down to the floor. And from here, sink your heels down, sink your hips down. That's a good workout for the thighs, keeping yourself up like that. And then take your hands back behind you and scoot your hips forward, coming into this M shape. And we're just going to drop our legs, going to move out from the wall, drop our legs from side to side, releasing a couple of cracks there, releasing any tension in the hips. And from here, you can bring yourself onto your back and lie all the way down. Nice. And then just bring your knees into your chest, give them a gentle squeeze, and circle them a couple of times. And the other way. And the last stretch we're going to do here is a stretch for the outsides of the legs, because we haven't opened up that space too much today. So drop your left foot down, bring your right ankle onto your left knee, and take your hands behind your left leg. Good, and just take 3 deep breaths here. One more. And then release your left foot down, release your right foot down, and change sides. Draw your right leg into your chest. Take 3 deep breaths. One more. And relax your legs down to the ground. And from here, just take a moment to settle yourself in. We'll come into shavasana for about a minute. Lengthen your legs out or keep your knees bent as you'd like. And you might like to take one hand onto your upper belly, one hand onto your lower belly, seeing as we've worked with this region so much today. If you'd like, you can bend your knees and bring your feet flat on the floor if you need a bit of support for your lower back. My lower back's feeling a little tight today, so I'm going to do that. And then just take some deep breaths into your belly and into your chest. Feel your hands rise up. And as you exhale, sigh out of your mouth. And feel yourself sink down into the mat. A few more breaths like that. You can keep going and take as many more as you feel like you need. Otherwise, just find a flow through your nostrils, a flow to your breath, an even flow in and even flow out. Take this time to notice how your body feels. And just become that observer again. Notice what physical sensations are happening without getting attached to them. Notice where your mental thoughts are and where your emotions are without getting attached to them. Just taking a step back and recognizing them for what they are, which is just thoughts in your mind, feelings in your body. Coming back to that physical awareness, can you feel the heat in your body and how your body's been warmed up as you've worked the region of your torso and your core? Can you tune into how the muscles in the back are feeling and their strength? And if you'd like, you can tune into what the words courage and willpower and resilience mean to you. From an energetic standpoint, that's the kind of energy we've tapped into today. So see if that resonates and just take 3 final breaths in and out here. Yes, that's a plane flying somewhere nearby. When you're ready, you can just take one last big breath in and start to wriggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. And then take a full breath in, reach your arms back behind you, stretch your toes out. And as you exhale, bring your knees onto your chest, give them a gentle squeeze in, tuck your chin up off the floor, and roll over onto your right side. And take 2 deep breaths in and out here. Just check in with how you're feeling, how your body's going. And kind of bring your awareness now back into your life, back into your world, and away from the yoga mat. Bridging those 2 realities together. And when you're ready, you can press yourself up to a comfortable seat at the top of your mat. Press down into your feet and your sitting bones. Inhale to lift your arms up. And exhale your hands down through to your heart center. And just take 3 more deep breaths in and out here. Tune into your strength. Tune into the power you feel in you, the heat you feel in you. And notice that as you sit up now, you probably feel a little bit stronger doing so. A little bit more sturdy. And that's because we've worked the muscles that you need to support you sitting up, to support you in a good posture. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you found this class beneficial, and I hope you enjoy the video. Namaste. Thank you very much for tuning into today's class. If you did enjoy the class, it would be really helpful to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And if you have any feedback for me, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much.